Have you ever wondered how people shared what they saw before you could just snap a picture with your phone? For thousands of years, if you wanted to remember a person's face, a beautiful sunset, or maybe just a cool-looking bug, you had one main option. You had to make the image yourself, by hand. Artists would spend hours, days, or even weeks meticulously sketching with charcoal, painting with pigments made from crushed rocks and plants, or carving sculptures from stone and wood. It was an incredible skill, requiring a steady hand, a keen eye, and honestly, a whole lot of patience. These methods were amazing, but they weren't perfect. The biggest challenge was capturing reality exactly as it was. A painter could create a stunning portrait, but it was always their interpretation of the person. Maybe they made the eyes a little brighter or the smile a little wider. It wasn't a direct copy of the real world, it was a beautiful translation. This process was also incredibly slow and expensive. Only the very wealthy could afford to have their portraits painted, leaving the faces and stories of everyday people to fade from memory. The world was full of fleeting moments, and humanity was desperate for a way to hold on to them, to freeze a single second in time for everyone to see. Think about it this way. If you wanted to show your friend a picture of your dog, you'd have to become a professional dog painter. Long before the first photograph was ever taken, people discovered a truly magical phenomenon. Imagine you are in a completely dark room on a bright sunny day. Now imagine you poke a tiny, pin-sized hole in one of the walls. Suddenly, on the opposite wall inside the room, an image appears. It's a picture of the world outside, upside down backward. It's like a live movie of whatever is happening on the other side of the wall. This amazing effect is called a camera obscura, which is Latin for dark room. Philosophers and scientists knew about this for centuries. Ancient China, ancient Greece. So how does this work? It's all about how light travels. Consider this. Light rays travel in straight lines. When light bounces off an object, say, a tree outside, rays fly off in all directions. The tiny pinhole in the dark room acts like a traffic controller for light. It only allows a very small number of light rays to pass through. The rays from the top of the tree travel in a straight line through the hole and land on the bottom of the opposite wall. Meanwhile, the rays from the bottom of the tree travel through the hole and land on the top of the wall. This is why the image appears completely inverted. For a long time, the camera obscura was a fascinating curiosity and a useful tool for astronomers. Artists would build portable box versions of the camera obscura, place a piece of paper inside, place a canvas inside, and trace the projected image to get a perfectly proportioned drawing. It was like having a projector before electricity was even a thing. Astronomers used this principle to safely observe the sun without damaging their eyes. They could project an image of the sun onto a surface and watch sunspots move across its face. It was an incredible tool for observation, but it had one major limitation. The image created by the camera obscura was temporary. As soon as you blocked the light or the scene outside changed, the picture vanished forever. It was like a ghost made of light. You could trace it, but you couldn't keep the light image itself. The great challenge, the puzzle that fascinated inventors for decades, was figuring out how to make that beautiful, fleeting image permanent. How could you invent a surface that would react to the light and remember the picture that the camera obscura projected onto it? Solving this would be the key to unlocking the power of photography. The big leap from watching an image to keeping an image happened because of chemistry, science. People began experimenting with different materials to find something that changed with light. One key discovery: silver salts, silver chloride, silver nitrate. Scientists in the 1700s noticed these silvery compounds would turn dark in sunlight. A chemical reaction powered by photons, a substance that could record where light had been. Put two ideas together: camera obscura, light-sensitive chemicals. Joseph Nicephore Niepce in the 1820s did exactly that. He coated a metal plate with bitumen of Judea. He put that plate at the back of a camera obscura and pointed it out his window. Then he waited, and waited, and waited. Exposure. At least 8 hours, maybe even a couple of days. Sunlight hardened the asphalt where it was brightest. After the long exposure, he washed the plate. What was left? A very faint, permanent image, the world's first photograph. He called it heliography, sun drawing. Monumental but far too slow for people or movement. A proof of concept. Capturing light was possible. The beginning, not the end. The race was on to find faster, better methods. The next giant leap forward came from a man named Louis Daguerre, who had initially worked with Niepce. After Niepce's death, Daguerre continued experimenting through a mix of genius and a happy accident. He developed a revolutionary new process. He took a sheet of copper and coated it with a thin layer of polished silver, making it look like a perfect mirror. Then he exposed this silver-plated sheet to iodine vapor, forming a light-sensitive layer of silver iodide. This plate was now ready to become a photograph. Daguerre placed his prepared plate into a camera obscura and exposed it to a scene. Thanks to his more sensitive chemistry, exposure times dropped from many hours to several minutes. This was a game changer, but after the exposure, nothing was visible on the plate. The image was latent, hidden. The magic happened next. Daguerre discovered, supposedly by accident, after leaving a plate in a cabinet with a broken thermometer, that exposing the plate to hot mercury vapor revealed the image in stunning detail. The mercury stuck to the light-hit parts, creating a frosted, whitish amalgam. Shadow areas remained as polished, reflective silver. The result, an incredibly detailed, one-of-a-kind image on the silver plate. He stopped development by washing the plate in a salt solution, a fixer. Tilt the finished plate in the light and the image pops out like a ghostly reflection. When announced in 1839, people called it a mirror with a memory. The daguerreotype was the first commercially successful photographic process, and it sparked a worldwide craze. For the first time, regular middle-class people could get an affordable, accurate portrait of themselves or their family members. Before, only the rich could afford painted portraits. Now, anyone could visit a daguerreotype studio, sit still for a few minutes, and walk away with a perfect likeness. These weren't paintings. They were real moments of time, captured forever on a sheet of silver. So the next time you effortlessly snap a dozen photos of your lunch with your phone, take a second to think about those early pioneers. Think of Niepce waiting for days for a single, blurry image to form. Think of Daguerre and his magical mercury vapor, revealing a face on a silver plate. They weren't just inventing a machine.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on living your best life.